bolt snaps, double enders, and different sizes. How do we know which one's going to be right for us, and how do we know what each one is for? Well, in today's quick tip video, we're going to go over each size of bolt snap and double ender as well and show you what we use them for, but also how you can utilize them to become a much better diver by not having too many danglies hanging around when you're diving. What's up, guys? This is Bryan again from Lake Kicker Scuba and Marine. If you're new to our channel, do me a huge favor. Hit this little subscribe button over here and ding that little bell as well. That way you guys are going to be notified every time we upload new content. Now in today's video, we're going to be talking about all the hardware, or more importantly, the double enders and the, say, bolt snaps or single enders that you can use throughout your diving and what each one of those is for. We're also going to show you some quick little tips and tricks to help attaching these guys a little bit easier to, say, either your BCD, a flashlight, say a cylinder, or something like that. So with that being said, let's jump into today's video, learn a little bit about the single enders, or what we call bolt snaps, and double enders as well. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we've got several different types of bolt snaps. We've also got a double ender. The biggest difference is a bolt snap is a single-ended system that has some type of eye here on the bottom, and then a double ender is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's just got two sides to it, and you can manipulate either side very easily. Now, what we're going to take a close look in today's video, though, is several examples of how you would use each one of these as well, and then I'll give you some pointers on how to pick out the best one for you. Now, starting with the larger size here, basically the eyelet's going to be much larger than, say, the middle or the smaller size. And yes, I am deliberately not giving you sizes here because each manufacturer is going to have different sizes. Like, for example, this is actually a 3.75 here. They also come in a 2.75, a 3, say a 4-inch, all the way up. And so you're going to have to pick out what's the best one for you. So I'm just going to call it large, middle, and small, or large, medium, and small. The larger eyelets here on these are primarily used, say, for stage bottles, deco bottles, or in the case of this bottle here, I've got basically just one of our side mount bottles. And as you can tell, it's got a large eyelet here. And that's going to allow me to get my fingers in there so that I can get a good firm grip if I'm needing to attach this bottle. Now, in this case, I might just put one finger in, or obviously I can get two fingers in it. But when I got big, thick gloves, I want to make sure that I've got a good, solid grip here. And having a large eyelet here, that's going to allow me to do that. Now, moving on over to the medium size, like here, this is what you would actually use for accessories, and here's a great example of that as well. I've just got a flashlight where we've tied on this medium-sized bolt snap here, and it comes in very handy. It's very secure. If I do need to cut it free, I can cut it free. Now, a lot of guys will sometimes use, say, O-rings and zip ties and things like that, and that's perfectly fine as well, but this medium size is going to work good for, say, your accessories and things like that. Now, the smaller size, we're going to use that for several different things. Over here on my doubles rig, as you can see, I've got it rigged up. I've actually got the smaller size bolt snap on my long hose. So as you can see, it's got the really small eyelet there. I don't want it to be very big. I just need to be able to reach up and, you know, be able to engage the bolt snap, clip it and unclip it when needed. So that's a great example. And then of course you can also use it, say, on your gauges. Now this is kind of a medium small, or small medium. It's not as small as the small. It's not as big as the medium, but it comes in handy as well for my gauges as well. So that's kind of, let's call it a large small, if you will, or a medium small. So as you can see, there's many different sizes there as well. As far as double enders, what do we typically use these for? Well, it can be used for several different things. In the case of this SMB and spool, we're just using it as a connector to hold the two together. Of course, we can attach both of these together, and we can actually use the double ender as a working double ender, as I have this one here, which is nothing more than just a spare double ender that you would keep with you throughout the dive, and then you could literally use it for anything. We've used these underwater to attach flashlights on the spur of the moment. I've actually used them to repair one of these that have broken throughout a side mount dive. I can use them to get hooks out of lines. I mean, it's just basically a working double ender. But now, one thing you'll notice about this one, it is brass. It is not stainless like this other guy is over here. And how do we know which one's going to be right for us? Well, Typically, brass is going to work for both fresh and salt water because it's not really going to corrode as nickel or something like that would. Although stainless steel does work better in salt water, they are going to be perfectly okay for salt water. Now for fresh water, if you want to save a little money, the brass is going to be perfectly fine. The only thing about brass that you got to be cautious of, it's very, very soft. So if you get a little cut or something here on the top, you can injure yourself as you're coming down, or right where the gate comes down, right where the edge of my thumbnail is, that can get to be kind of sharp over time if you get damage on it or whatnot, and that can poke into your thumb. So stainless steel tends to be what a lot of people go with, but as you can see, I personally use both stainless steel and brass, and I have no difficulties using them in freshwater, saltwater. So it's really going to be up to you what you actually use it for. So there you go, guys. Now you know a little bit more about bolt snaps or single enders, and of course double enders as well. If you liked this video or you found it helpful, give me a big thumbs up. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, drop it below. I do want you to stay tuned though. Our very next video, we're going to be looking at different ways to attach your spool to, say, your SMB, because there's several different ways to do that as well, because you don't want to create an entanglement hazard, and you don't want that spool to come disconnected or cause an entanglement when you're underwater as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. But until our next video, take care, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.